time for another edition of the Collector's Corner.
Aloha. Welcome to another edition of Aloha's Collector Corner. I am your host, Aloha Mr. Han, the man of notorious questionable character. This is, of course, brought to you by our friends at the Sadistic Penguin Studio. So, you might have seen my teases on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it, the last couple of days about getting some new stuff and everything else. So, why don't we just go ahead and dive right in? So, as you know, a couple weeks ago, the 2025 Major League Baseball Hall of Fame class was named. The writers' vote, not the Veterans Committee. We know Dick Allen and Dave Parker made it through the Veterans Committee. Unfortunately, Dick Allen is no longer with us, and Dave Parker, I don't want to go into all the details I've been given, but Dave Parker is not signing right now. I'll just leave it at that. So, with that being said, I have some memorabilia from each of the three members who were elected through the writers' vote. The first is the man who was on the ballot for his 10th and final season. And let me just get this out here. So he was a reliever who, honestly, I was sort of on whether or not he should be in. And I think part of it is because he was his career worst team to face was the White Sox, believe it or not. So it was interesting. I was not sold on him, but it doesn't matter at this point because he was elected to the Hall of Fame. And that is, of course, Billy Wagner. As you can see here, here's the Billy Wagner bat. You can see that there's his signature right there, number 13, class of 2025. Let me get my hand off there. Made by our friends at Cooperstown Bat. And of course, it is number 9 of 12. There is also a certificate of authenticity with it that's in the tube. I just didn't bring the certificate out. Let me see something here. Yeah, you can see on the handle, there's the sticker for it. So that is the Billy Wagner bat. And don't forget, these guys go in at the end of July. If you haven't booked a hotel, you might have a tough time getting out there because of one of the other electees who I'll get into in a minute. Actually, the other two electees, but one in particular. The second electee was a guy who the White Sox faced regularly from his time with the Cleveland Indians. Now, I remember he started game 1 of the 2005 season, 20th anniversary of the 05 season. Hard to believe it's been 20 years. Seems like an eternity ago, but also seems like yesterday. The amazing thing about 2005 with the White Sox was this. The first game of the season, they won 1-0. The first game out of the All-Star break, they won 1-0. And game 4 of the 2005 World Series, they won 1-0. Seemed to be a theme that year. Also, let me just say, Mark Burley was the starting pitcher in the MLB All-Star game that was played in Detroit that year, which played a huge factor because the AL won and those ridiculous rules were in place at the time that were put in after the tie in Milwaukee, where the winner of the All-Star game has home field advantage for the World Series. So the White Sox were home for games 1 and 2, and then obviously won it in games 3 and 4, one in Houston, and won game 4 for the sweep. I will say this about 2005. The 2005 World Series, I had the honor, privilege, luck, all the above, of going to both games of the World Series. I was at game 1, I was at game 2. I don't care what anyone tells you. That park was never louder, not in the blackout game with Tomei, not in game 3 of the 2021 ALDS. Never louder than when Konerko hit that grand slam. You can argue with me, you're wrong. Just deal with it. Now, I will also add this. You would think it would have been Pasednik's walk-off home run that was the loudest. No. The reason being, and I maintain this, and this is just my speculation, is everybody was in shock that Pasednik hit that ball. to be completely honest. Here's this banjo hitting leadoff hitter hitting a home run to win a World Series game. People were in shock. And I just remember walking down the ramp by section 108 down the right field line, mumbling to myself and my girlfriend at the time, this is over. This series is over. They're coming back for a parade. And I was ecstatic and also sort of depressed a little bit about it because I really wanted to see them win at home, but I wanted to see them win more than anything else. And one of the true regrets I have is the fact that I did not board a plane on October 26, 2005 to go to Houston. My company had offices in Houston. I could have worked there, and I didn't do it, and I regret it. And if I ever get the opportunity again, you bet your ass I'm going to be on a plane going out to wherever they may be playing. So with that, but here's the CC Sabathia bat. As you can see, there's a signature, CC, number 9/12 again, bat created by our friends at Cooperstown Bat Company. I just love how they build these out with the jersey number, the player, and the class. And let's see, yep, there's the sticker right there for the authenticity. But like I said, CC was a thorn in the White Sox side. They always had to face CC. He probably pitched, it seemed like he pitched against the White Sox every series that the Sox and Indians played all those years. And a lot of times when the Sox played the Yankees, even though they didn't play the Yankees nearly as much as they did the Indians. Now, the last one is the one I think everybody's been waiting for. But before I show that, I want to show something else. Now I can say this card has 2 Hall of Famers on there. 2 of the highest vote-getting Hall of Famers of all time. Junior and Ichiro. And you can see, authenticated by Beckett, it's a 10. It's a beautiful item, and it just went up in value with Ichiro missing by 1 vote. And let me say this about the 1 vote. It was not White Sox Dave who didn't vote for him. And for you people who think that White Sox Dave was the reason that Derek Jeter did not make it to the Hall of Fame, get a clue. It was a joke. He does not have voting rights for the Hall of Fame. I can't believe some of the people who believe that Dave was the one who blocked Derek Jeter from going into the Hall of Fame. It was a great joke. It was priceless. It was beautiful. Great job, Dave. But anyway, so without further ado, here is the Ichiro bat. As you can see, I love the color there on the bat. You can see the scribble signature right there for Ichiro. Of course, it's 9/12. Generally, most of the bats I get are 9/12. Cooperstown Bat Company. There's the certificate of authenticity. And the thing about it is, if you haven't booked a trip to the Hall of Fame for induction ceremony, you might have some issues. They are expecting record crowds. A lot of people coming from Japan to see the induction of Ichiro, since he's really the first true Japanese player to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I've joked with several people that I know in Cooperstown that basically they're going to all the whales, so to speak, are going to fly in from Japan, probably fly into Albany or Syracuse, go to Cooperstown, descend on it over that weekend. By the way, that's the weekend that the Sox and Cubs play each other at the rate. Not guaranteed rate anymore, the rate. That's the same weekend, but they'll descend on Cooperstown, and then they'll board their jets. Afterwards, they'll board their jets and go to either Atlantic City or Las Vegas. So just something to keep an eye on. That's a joke I've been having with a lot of people. But anyway, so that's the Ichiro bat. Now, there's a couple other Hall of Famer things I've got. One is, of course, another bat for a Hall of Famer that I watched as a kid growing up. He is a three-time Cy Young Award winner. 1973, 1975, 1976. He is a known person, and I can say one word, actually 2 words, I'll say, that you're going to know who it is just when I say these 2 words. Jockey underwear. Yep, that's right. It is a bat signed the Hall of Fame edition bat signed by one Jim Palmer. So you see number 22, Jim Palmer, the Oriole Orange, with that famous delivery of his, class of 1990. He went in with Joe Morgan. Uh, number 9 of 12, of course. The funny thing about him going in with Joe Morgan, those two squared off in All-Star games quite a bit. And I will never forget, Joe Morgan led off the 1977 All-Star game at the newly remodeled Yankee Stadium. It reopened in 76 after the 2-year construction project where the Yankees actually played for 2 seasons in Shea Stadium, 74 and 75. They opened Yankee Stadium in 76 and immediately make it to the World Series and get swept by the Big Red Machine. 77, they have the All-Star game there. Joe Morgan leads off against Jim Palmer with a home run. For some reason, that always sticks in my head. But now there is maybe one or two. There's definitely one pitcher, maybe a second, who you can consider on Jim Palmer's level. This guy maybe probably just a little bit above because he is a 300 game winner. He won his 300th game with the White Sox in Yankee Stadium in 1985. That's right. It's the franchise, Tom Seaver. As you can see, it's a Sweet Williams trading card on the back there. They made these in the 70s. It's basically, there were a lot made that looked the same, but they were from different sponsors based on where you were in the country. So, but that is the Sweet William, as you can see on the back there, that was distributed, and then eventually they got Tom Seaver. Someone got Tom Seaver to autograph it, and I picked it up. So that's that right there. And then, speaking of we've talked a little bit about the Yankees and Yankee Stadium and everything else. I would be remiss if I did not show, let me say, this next autograph because it is a significant figure in Yankee history. It really is. Now, for anyone who knows what one of my favorite things to tweet about is, you're going to get who this is before I show it. Let me just say, I have a baseball card autographed by the assistant to the traveling secretary. That's right. George Costanza, aka Jason Alexander, signed this. I got this. I sent away for this like a year ago. And the funny story about that is when I got it back, I usually, if I send stuff away with a self-addressed stamped envelope, I put the initials of the person in the lower right-hand corner of the return envelope. So when J.A. showed up, I'm like, what is J.A.? I can't remember it. And I opened it up, and there it was. I sent that probably a year to a year and a half ago. That's how long it took. Well worth it, though. One of my goals is to get an autographed baseball with the inscription, assistant to the traveling secretary, 2-time World Series champ. Because remember, when he was working there, they won the World Series in 96. And yes, he was let go in 98, but he started the season with them in 98. So technically, he's a member of that team. So I like it. If you don't like it, oh well, deal with it. Another thing I recently got, this guy was doing a signing at the Baseball Card King in Downers Grove. So actually got a ticket signed by him, and this is a unique thing, and I'll explain why. This is a ticket, yes, it's a Cubs ticket, signed by Steve Psycho Lyons. Significance of this was a Crosstown Classic game. He played all 9 positions, played throughout the entire diamond throughout the game. So each inning he played a different position. So I got him to sign this ticket saying on there, play all 9. Wanted played all 9? Close enough. Works for me. I got it. That's all that matters. Now, something else I recently picked up that I think is super cool, and I had to do it because of who it was. It is a Frank Thomas autographed jersey card, authenticated by Beckett. it's the Big Hurt, man. Come on, gotta have that. It's the Big Hurt. What else can I say? So, a couple more things to end with here. Uh, Recently, unfortunately, Ricky Henderson passed away. Ricky is probably one of those guys on the baseball Mount Rushmore of Hall of Famers. If you look in the record books, what he's accomplished is sick. But a couple autographs by Ricky. This is a first day envelope signed by Ricky Henderson for his time when he was with the New York Yankees. Because remember, he was Oakland, New York Yankees, Oakland, and then he traveled everywhere after that. He played for a bunch of teams, man. It's like he got a lot of air miles. Let me just say this. And the other Ricky thing I have is this print from the Hall of Fame that they sent me. I got him to autograph it. This is his 939th stolen base when he set the record in Oakland against the Yankees. Now, here's a little trivia for you. The batter, when he stole the base, the person in the batter's box was another Hall of Famer and a former White Sox. That's right. It was number 3, Harold Baines. He was batting when Ricky stole third base to set the record. Confirmed it with Harold, too. But the last item I want to show is something that I just find awesome. Now, this is, as I teased, a hockey piece that the player is a Blackhawk legend, has his number retired, but unfortunately he played for other teams. He played for Montreal before, and he went to the Detroit Red Wings after. And also played for the Chicago Wolves, too. But this is a Eddie Vedder concert poster of Chris Chelios, signed by Chris Chelios, and you can see there's some song lyrics on there from the song Better Man. So not only did Chelios sign that, he autographed it. He put an inscription of song lyrics from Better Man by Pearl Jam. I just think it's awesome. Let me show that again. And it is Beckett authenticated. You see there's the Beckett sticker on the bottom there. It's hard to do this because it's so big. It's like, I'm trying to move this. So, you can see the lyrics there. You can see Chelios there. She dreams in color. She dreams in red. Can't find a better man. There's a lot of stories you could say, but I think that's just awesome. Probably working with my friends at the Bridgeport Art Shop to get that framed up in a couple weeks. But that's all I got. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out if you want to see anything. I don't know if I have it, but I can certainly look. Thanks a lot. That's all I got for now. I am out of here. Bang.